much, Senators Nelson, Warren, and Donnelly, for your interest in this very important matter, and thank you to everyone in the audience for coming today. I'm a physician scientist who has been, for the last almost 23 years now, working in biotech and pharma in R&D of novel innovative medicines, mainly actually in my hometown of Cambridge. And I am, yes, a Red Sox fan. At present, I am today a head of a R&D group at Sanofi, dedicated to research in aging and age-related diseases. It's actually one of the few units, I believe, across the pharmaceutical industry that's focused specifically on aging and age-related diseases. Sanofi otherwise is a top 5 global pharmaceutical company that is active in a wide range of medical disease conditions, cardiovascular, diabetes, cancer, rare diseases, and multiple sclerosis. The R&D unit that I lead, which is called TSU Aging, was created a little bit more than 3 years ago with an objective of discovering and developing medicines that are specifically directed at older individuals and patients with chronic disease. We believe that we've been pioneering in this approach to aging, and moving towards, rather than studying diseases in isolation, to the study of a collection of certain major age-related diseases in parallel, as well as the integrated health needs of the elderly, with the aim of maximizing overall the capacity for independent living with aging. Today, our R&D activities are attempting to address both age-related chronic disease, such as Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, stroke, and osteoarthritis, as well as what are called age-related geriatric syndromes, such as chronic pain, age-related muscle loss or sarcopenia, and frailty. When we set this unit up, our thinking is that, along with, I think, many of the people around this table, that to approach aging and the chronic disease of aging, that what was required was a fundamental shift in the scientific approach to discovering and developing innovative medicines for age-related diseases. In my written statement, I actually give a lot more color and detail on the rationale and what makes the chronic diseases of aging very different from the more obvious diseases such as infectious disease and cancer in younger and middle-aged people, where the basic biologic mechanisms are that much more distinct from what is otherwise healthy and normal. But for the moment, what I'll say is that based on that perspective, we set up the scientific strategy with 3 pillars at the core of the aging group. Number 1 is, in order to cross-fertilize ideas and concepts, as well as developing therapies that address common age-related biologic mechanisms, we integrated the scientists working in the major age-related diseases and syndromes under one R&D organization and leadership. Second, we're placing greater emphasis on intervening earlier in the disease process rather than intervening late in the disease stage of disease, where particularly in older individuals, there may be irreversible damage and loss of function. And third, whenever possible, consider multi-pronged strategies and integrated healthcare solutions that not only provide pharmaceutical products, but also address healthcare needs more broadly in integrated solutions that may encompass novel technologies and services. Otherwise, across global R&D at Sanofi, from an operating model standpoint, we've recognized that our internal efforts for complex diseases such as a variety of diseases of aging cannot be enough. And so we've adopted, over the last several years, an open innovation model whereby we work in a network manner with academia, with governments, and other players in the biotech and pharmaceutical industry, both directly in one-on-one private collaborations and partnerships, as well as in larger public-private consortia. Before concluding, I just want to make one comment on the article that has been circulated regarding the potential impact, the potential greater cost impact of extending life. In our view, that increased costs might arise from increasing life could be an outcome if, in fact, we continued with business as usual. That is, developing treatments that intervene late in life and extend life only in the context of already existing disease and morbidity. However, we believe that the opportunity in aging research is that through this research, we're able to develop interventions that are early enough in the process and that they can primarily extend healthy life years, where, in fact, in the end, we might be able to decrease healthcare costs rather than add to the burden of healthcare costs. In addition, we believe that integrated aging solutions that incorporate technology services such as nutrition, exercise counseling, and other complements of pharmaceuticals have the opportunity to further impact healthcare costs positively. In conclusion, by developing novel innovative medicines and integrated healthcare solutions for the aging population, notably through partnerships involving public and private stakeholders, Sanofi is dedicated to finding solutions to the problem of this century, the worldwide challenge of increasing demand for healthcare with aging populations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alam. Dr. Morgan, before I turn to you, perhaps I could just highlight some points you were just making that are so critical, which is that this is about and for the children as much as anything else, and the children's children. Because this is about a demographic, historical change in our 21st century. And oftentimes people think of it as a particular moment in time related to the baby boomers. That has catalyzed this for us. But what it's really about is our demographic condition that we will be living with at least over the next 2 to 3 generations. That's how these things work. And so when we think about it is, well, are we going to spend for K through 8 education or old people? That's not how to think about investment in this kind of research. Dr. Morgan.